Welcome back to another episode of Oak and Rock. I'm your host, Anthony, with my good friend, Zac Small. Today, we're going to talk about why spanking is weak. Zac, do you think that if you're a parent and you spank your kid, does that make you weak?
Yes. Next question.
That's it. Thanks for tuning in. It's been a great episode.
That's it.
We get this all the time, and this is constant bombardment of, are we making our kids strong? Are we toughening them up when we hit them? And it's a weird process that we have to lie to ourselves to say that as a parent, as a grown man, me hitting my kid is going to toughen them up, is going to make them stronger. And it's when I say it's complete hypocrisy, because if we weren't weak, right, if we didn't have the easiest way to physically harm our kids, we would be finding better ways, right? We would find better solutions. We would be using better tools than hitting a small child. So that's if we want to measure weakness and strength as a man, we do hard things, right? We learn how to improve, we learn how to get better, and we learn how to focus our energy to advancement. When we spank, we're regressing. We're going backwards. We're doing the thing that's the easiest, that is the weakest. And not only that, the thing that damages what it is we're building, our family, right? It's creating destruction in the family home. So spanking is weak, just to clarify.
It's product focused is what bothers me. It's focused on the exact moment, getting what it is you want from the child. It's the same thing as when we talk about fast food. Fast food is toxic for your body. We all know this. We all agree on this. And yet fast food is popular with everywhere everywhere you go across the globe. Fast food is just where it's at. You know, people want to get it. They can't get enough of it. And it's led to a huge obesity epidemic, which we're going to cover in another episode. But when you look at that, I look at spanking as the same. Going to get fast food for your food daily is weak. Spanking your kids is weak. Both are focused on just getting the product so you can have as little discomfort as possible during the day. You don't want to sit and cook your foods, which means you don't want to get healthy nutrition. You just want to shove something in your mouth that feels good. You want the kid to do what you want them to do. You don't want to sit and explain to them why what they're doing is, incorrect or how you would rather them go about it. You just want them to do what you want, so you hit them. Weakness, absolute weakness. There is nothing to be learned. It has been proven through multiple studies. Nothing's being learned by spanking your kids. Nothing at all is being gained by them or you, but you are getting that immediate release of your frustrations, and therefore you feel better. It's all about your feelings and feeling good. And you say, oh, I'm a real man and I'm not going to get caught up in this. I do man things. I'm an alpha. I'm a masculine motherfucker. And yet you do the weakest possible shit, which is not taking the time to raise the life you brought into this world. It's fucking weak. It's not strengthening the kids. It's not teaching them shit. And you know what I hate? There are men, let's say they're 40 plus, let's say even 30s. And they'll say to me, I was hit and I turned out all right. These same dudes I was coaching months earlier about how their relationship was shattered. They were addicted to porn. They were addicted to booze. Their youth, they fucking hate their dad. They fix themselves. They fix all those things and they're spanking their kids. And they're like, Zac, I turned out fine. No, dude. You did not. It's not normal to go through this, having to overhaul your entire life in your 30s, of having to change everything who you were, having to dig through all that trauma, fix it brick by brick, and then go forward in life and start your life at 35 plus or whatever age, you're coming to Jesus. And so what we're talking about is setting kids up to not have to go through that trauma. They're going to go through normal trauma. They're going to go through heartbreak from people they love falling out. They're going to go through losing a friend to death or losing a family member to death. Like, that's going to happen. But those are normal milestones. Having to overcome your father being an abusive asshole, having to find your sense of identity or sense of worth, or learning how to trust yourself so you're not living within the shadows of your parents, that's not fucking normal. It's been normalized, but in no way is it normal. And so what we're talking about when it comes to spanking is getting your child to live an optimal life to where they're not falling into the bullshit holes that you're digging for them every time you wind up and put a fucking hand on their body.
Yeah, man. I mean, you have, what about the dad who says, I use it as a tool, right? I don't hit my kid when I'm angry. I don't hit him when I'm frustrated, but I use it as a tool to course correct, to change behavior in the moment when things get heated. What do you tell a dad like that?
If I give you a sword A sword's like a tool. It's a tool for fighting. And I said, go build a house with this sword. You know, you'd be like, all right, I've got a tool, but it doesn't do this job. Hitting is not for kids. If I need to hit, like you and I, let's put on headgear, gloves, we can box in a ring. That would be frustration being released. I get some tension out. I get to fight somebody cool, but we're not hurting each other. That's what your hands are for. Somebody breaks into your house. That's what your fucking hands are for. Somebody tries to rob you in the street, all these situations. That's what physical confrontation is for. You can correct them. Get the fuck out of my way. Get the fuck away from me. Don't touch me, my family, any of my property. But your child, these tools that are your hands for violence are not for that job. That is a different job with different tools. And corporal punishment is not a tool to be used in that environment. I was in the military. Corporal punishment was used on Marines. Corporal punishment is used on sailors. We're not spanking them, but there's different methods of physical, like push-ups for days is an easy one. Pull-ups, 6 inches over water. These little physical torches are like, hey, let's not slip up again because this sucks, right? Let's not do it. And I would do it with them. I'm not spanking my kids and then spanking myself. I'm not with them in this back and forth. This is just me delivering a punishment. That is not a tool you use with your children. You want to raise warriors. You want to raise protectors. You want to raise in these different environments. Your child can voluntarily put themselves into that environment. They can volunteer, sign their name and say, all right, I want to sign up and you might put your hands on me to correct something. I'm ready to operate in that world. That's no different than signing up for MMA. Both of my kids were in jiu-jitsu for a little bit and Muay Thai. They both got punched in the face. They both were wrestling around in a controlled manner. They volunteered for that. They knew what they were getting into. They wanted to be there. Hitting your kid, they had no vote in that. They did not volunteer for that. They're not learning anything from that. So that tool is being used incorrectly when people say that. And that's why it drives me fucking crazy, man, because I think this is known. I think it's very clear because you wouldn't have to spank them more than once ever.
Yeah. No, I know it drives you crazy. That's why
I'm glad you threw that my way. Thank you for that, Silo.
Poking the bear. No, and it is a tough conversation to have. You know, I probably get the most excuses for hitting kids. It's what I hear the most out of any excuse I've ever heard in the world is why I need to hit my children, why I need to spank them. And I think a lot of it is you have this fear that your kid is going to be weak if you don't hit them. You have this fear that your kid's not going to be well behaved. And that's what drives me crazy is outside of all the evidence, everything we know about physical assault, physical violence, when a child's brain's developing and you're physically harming them, they go through trauma, right? It creates PTSD. It creates an adverse effect in their brain development. And we know this, right? Everybody has Google. Everybody can search effects of spanking. This is not hidden. It's well known. It's actually documented in a million places. But we always go back to saying that if I don't hit my kids, they're not going to be disciplined. If I don't spank them, they're not going to follow orders. So to me, that is a weakness in parenting. It's admitting that we're not weak in a particular skill, which is parenting, and then we keep resorting to the same behaviors, even if they don't get the results we want, even if we see all these negative outcomes, even if we see our kids' aggression increases, if we see that they become depressed, if they get addicted to drugs. Spanking increases all these behaviors. And we see it, right? I talk to a lot of fathers who go through these pains, and we still are afraid to face that weakness in ourselves. We're still afraid to say, hey, I need to knuckle up. I need to get a little bit more tougher on myself. I would
say it's even a weak objective to aspire to. Why do you want your kids to be like that?
Yeah. Yeah. Why is that your outcome? If you're a father and you could say that I have influence over my kids and how I treat them, how I behave around them, how I talk to them is going to affect their life, why would you choose to physically hit them? Why would you choose to spank them, to pull their pants down and hit them with your hand on their ass? How do we get to a place where we comprehend that as parenting? And we use the example all the time. You can't hit anybody in society. If you were to hit another man, you can go to jail. If you were to hit a woman, you go to jail. If you were to hit a pet, you'd go to jail. But you could spank your kid. You can physically hit him or her to make them obey. And, as far as weakness is concerned, I don't think it gets any weaker than that. It doesn't.
I mean, think about it. If when people don't have a good argument against your argument, they stamp their feet and they bring up random shit. They won't stick to the logic. They'll be like, "Oh, you're short. Oh, you have a small penis. You're looking to compensate. Oh, like they try to make fun of you. Oh, you think you're tough because your beard." It's like, no, I'm saying don't hit your kids. Oh, because you're so fucking strong because you have guns. Nope, just don't hit your kids. Okay, Mr. Alpha. Yeah, see, you keep bouncing around because you can't address me directly. And I think that's what parents do. They'll bounce around and focus. Well, I've got to raise them. I've got to do this. Well, your kids are soft, or you're left, or you're some political identity. But nope, I literally don't claim shit. I'm not right. I'm not left. I'm not even center. I'm me. My shit is so all over the place. Just like, leave me the fuck alone. Let me do what I want. That's the beginning and end of that discussion. And so there's nothing tied to this outside of the focus on the topic we're talking about. Spanking is weak. And that is the point. There's nothing, there's no gray area to it. There's no variable, there's no asterisk like in the exemptions of spanking is weak for children. You want to spank your wife? Man, have a great time in the bedroom. Totally cool. Do your thing. You know, I've had a lot of people respond with that. I'm all on board. Have fun with your lady, you know, in the right way. But when it comes to kids, you're not doing it in the right way because there's no right way to hit your kids. There is no hitting of the kids. Again, if you're to be an asshole and hit your wife, she can leave. Those pets, if somebody sees that, they will call the cops and they will take the. I've heard stories and I've seen this play out in associates of people I've known where they fucking hit their pet and the pet was taken away. Like somebody called the cops and I was like, holy shit, I didn't know that was a thing, but it is. But your kids, nobody cares. I've seen kids dragged away. I've seen kids hit in public. Nobody cares because kids are second-class citizens.
Yeah.
That's fucking weak, man. That's not how you raise a strong family. That's not how you build a strong legacy. And anybody that's saying, well, I turned out great, or they're skipping that time frame where they were pissed off, angry, isolated, and not knowing who they were, having any sense of identity, and all that other bullshit they had to face to overcome the spanking and the trauma. They skip all of that and say, oh, I turned out fine. Yeah, dude, you weren't meant to lose those 10 years of your life trying to find yourself. Whoa. And you wouldn't have had to if your dad was there and had raised you properly to know, like, this is who you are, what you stand for. You're a free man. Go out and live your life. I've got your back.
Oh, my God. It is, listen, you know, for real, man, this is why we do this, right? This is a part of Oak and Rock Fatherhood. We want to level up the family. We want to help dads improve. And we want to share the information, right? We're not just here to criticize. We want to speak some truth to the world, how we do it, what's worked for us, and how we could raise better kids, strong families. And I think if you're a father or if you're a parent and you're listening to us, even if you're disagreeing with us, I would love to hear a counter argument. You know, I mean, we talk a lot about what we do in our lives to improve the situation. So come talk to us. Tell me how hitting your kid, how spanking your kid has greatly improved your life. Tell me all the areas that your son or daughter that you physically hit, that you physically spank. Tell me what that's done for the relationship, how that's improved it, that your kid's thanking you all the time. You know, Dad, thanks for spanking me. I would have turned out to be a real piece of shit, but now that you hit me, I see the light. Let's have those conversations. Those are uncomfortable, but I think they need to be had more. I think we need to understand what's going on.
Bro, the comments to this one of the DMs we're about to get, I'm blaming you for that.
Yes.
For real, though. I look forward to it.
If you do have a question, throw it in the comments. Like, subscribe, hit the notification button. This way you can learn all the important information about what not to do. This has been another episode of Oak and Rock Fatherhood.